We got it locked from your block to the comic shop.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Dig this and dig it deep.
You now on that wavelength, time to sign in. Floyd and hip-hop marvels of chime in on topics of comics, brought to expand the hip-hop connect with the gauntlet in hand. They got it locked in, they floss in the brand. The block to the comic shop, they cross and examine. Representation's famine and moved on the shelf, and the system is happy with the movement is dealt. We don't wait for the sick to improve on the health, so we pull a Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. And it'll come out extra clean, fresh for the fans like an extended scene. With the hip-hop and comic dimension, they activate you with gems they presenting. Hand in the gauntlet, yes, we gon' flaunt it. Hip-hop marvels will bring you the rawness.
It's your boy Dub Floyd in the place to be, and in the place to be is Dub Floyd. This is the Hip Hop Marvels podcast, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Blerd chat. We're here for the second time, and I have some amazing guests with me. Like I said before, it's pretty much a Marvel Illuminati roundtable discussion, discussing Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And tonight I'm here with none other than Candy Carver, artist extraordinaire. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Candy.
Hey, I'm Candy. How y'all doing?
Simple as that. Okay, we can move on. Next, I have Keysha from Straight to Tape podcast. What's up, Keysha?
Did she get booked?
Yeah. I don't think we can hear you.
I said, what's up, y'all? I'm sorry, I was muted. What's up, y'all? This is Keysha McDougal from the Straight to Tape podcast. I do this all day, every day. I just still don't.
Right. And next we have Quin from the Villains of Vinyls podcast. Quin, you're up next.
Oh. Let me add on a little something too, because I know y'all haven't heard my voice in a while. Not only the Villains of Vinyl podcast, currently on hiatus at Life Happens, but also host of the Quin Nominal podcast coming soon. So be on the lookout for that.
I like that title, Quin Nominal. Okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm working on it, man.
So we're here to discuss Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Brief summary: Doctor Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens up a doorway to the multiverse, including alternate versions of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda Maximoff. So, with that said, I want to go into, what are you guys' what were your quick reactions to the film? Just quick. I need some quick reactions to the film. We've been discussing this for like an hour already before we, started.
I had a good time. I went in the middle of the day. I went at lunchtime with some Thai food, and it was me and 8 other people in the theater, and I had a fun time. Clapped my hands a few times. It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was scarier than I thought it was going to be, but I was pleased with that direction. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Keish.
Same. I went on the Thursday it dropped. I was supposed to go at 3 with my son, and some silly person at my job put a meeting that I could not move on my calendar during that time. So he went and he took someone, and I ended up snagging a single ticket at 5:30, I think. So I went, had some pizza and some beer, and it was good. It was a good, solid movie, I thought. It was fun.
Definitely, most definitely. Quin?
All right, so I did Friday super, super extra late because I wanted to be able to enjoy it. And me being a Sam Raimi fan, like I love me some Evil Dead. I love the Spider-Man series. Oh, I came ready. And like movie delivered. So it was a good fit for him to do this. And yeah, man, I'm ready to talk about this.
Yes, most definitely. For me, I went, I believe I went Friday afternoon around 3:00. Wifey and I, and she, she's not really, versed in Marvel movies or anything, but it's crazy because we went into the theater and she asked me right before, like I gave it, like the show to tell her my ticket, and she basically said, can you explain everything up until this point? And the ticket holder said, "Oh man, like you're yeah." Like he pretty much knew. He was like, "Yeah, you're in for it." Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but needless to say, after watching the movie, she kind of got what was going on, and that that's one of my biggest things, because this movie wasn't too complex. It was complex in some ways, but overall, it wasn't that complex. So, I see we have Chris. Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Chris. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. We already introduced everyone else. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Chris. I'm a content creator. I go by Critics of Culture on Instagram. Me and DJ Dub Floyd got to connect on Instagram, and I was a guest on a few podcasts ago. And I just wanted to hear y'all's take on the movie.
Yes, sir. So basically what I was just asking them to give a quick reaction to the film. Just something real quick before we dive into this movie.
So now it's your turn, Chris.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. My girl's trying to sleep, so let me excuse myself right quick because I have a very strong opinion of this movie, and I don't want to wake nobody up.
Hey,
I'm ready for this.
It's like that.
Oh,
It's like that. Okay, let's go. Right. All right. He had to go into another room. That's what I'm talking about.
Somewhere else. He said I have a very strong opinion.
Yes, let's go.
It's how I feel about ramen. When you have to eat ramen out instead of eating ramen out the package, like when you go to the restaurant to pay $20 for ramen, and you could have ramen in the package. I like the packaged ramen better than the fancy restaurant ramen.
Oh, that's a stronger opinion for sure.
Ma'am.
That's a strong opinion for sure.
Ma'am. I never
she
knew
said,
that. I never knew that. I'm not judging.
No, there definitely no judgment. There definitely no judgment here. That is a strong opinion. Yeah. Most definitely.
Here for it. I'll take all the smoke. I don't care. I want to make sure we're clear. All right, Chris. You ready to talk to us about this baby doll?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Tell us.
I'm ready. So it was a good movie that should have been great. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because not enough people are mentioning that Disney and Marvel fed into a lot of those speculation and rumor theories. There was an article, because I searched this thing, because I was highly disappointed and my expectations were high, but I'm gonna tell you why. There's a YouTuber who has a lot of inside information and connections by the name of John Campea. He was the one who started the narrative that this movie was going to have the most cameos and the most surprises, more than Endgame and No Way Home. There was already, rumors and speculation that a lot of people were going to be in the movie, but he's the one who put the gas and fire on that joint, because he was saying that he got an email and he was looking at all these different things. He's the one who said that the movie was going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's like he's the one who created he created a lot of the hype and expectations for this movie. Before him, it was really just a bunch of rumors, which I didn't feed into that. But until that article came out, and I can send you the article, when that article came out and said that this movie was going to have the most surprises in it, that's when, the floodgates were open for the Tom Cruise as Iron Man theories. The what's another? There was Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Of course, there's the Mephisto ones, but honestly, I think the Mephisto theories and rumors are validated because there's definitely much reason to incorporate him in the MCU based off of the fact that Agatha was his wife in the comics. He's used the Darkhold and has had back and forth with Doctor Strange in the comics. And I just think this would have been the perfect movie to introduce him. They basically baited and switched us because a month right before the movie dropped, that's when they changed that runtime to 2 hours and 40 minutes to 2 hours and 6 minutes. And here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I would have been fine had they didn't have the amount of cameos that everybody was expecting. The 2 hour and 6 minute movie that we saw, I think that movie could have been great too. My only issue was I could tell that because they cut the movie down, the pacing seemed very rushed, and I didn't like the execution of a lot of scenes, as well as the the furthering of the plot. I just feel like once they shortened the movie, the pacing of it was just extremely rushed, and there's things that I think need more context. I don't like the idea of her being completely taken over by the Darkhold. I believe that would have been a perfect way to introduce Mephisto's influence over her, and not just the book alone. Like, I'm sorry, they dropped the ball on this movie for me. Like I said, it was a good movie. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I'm not going to say it's trash. I'm not going to say I needed a bunch of cameos. That would have been dope. But if you want to give me a 2 hour and 6 minute movie, they could have did that way better.
Okay. No, I definitely agree with you on some of the parts. As far as like, I know you mentioned Mephisto being a big influence. I definitely see that, especially with the Darkhold itself. You know what I'm saying? They definitely could have played into Mephisto being the influence in her rather than the book itself, especially when, they were traveling multiverses, and this was like the main, like in each multiverse they traveled, each universe they traveled, the Darkhold, there was a Darkhold in all of those universes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you could definitely play on, have a play on that with Mephisto. As far as like, for me, like the genuine thing for me is that with Scarlet Witch, I didn't necessarily think they were going to go quick, like get to it quick.
Because they rushed that movie.
Like that quick. You know what I'm saying? That was like my biggest gripe. Like my gripe wasn't the fact that she was the antagonist. I was fine with that. I was cool with that. It's just like they got like when he went to visit her and she was plucking the flowers from the trees and shit, and then the shit dissipated. Yeah, and it was just like I'm like, well, damn, we here already.
And they could have did that. They could have, and that's my thing. It's the execution. So you could have gave me the 2 hour and 6 minute movie, but there's certain things that could have been executed differently that still would have made that movie great. And I would have loved it. Like, not to cut you off, but the Earth 616 mortal should still be a talking point. We shouldn't overlook the fact that this man changed his views on everything that the Ancient One taught him at the end of the first Doctor Strange movie. So we're just gonna, ignore that? Like,
I don't think so, Chris. I hear you, but I don't think it's about ignoring things as much as we only have so much time. So each individual person, I feel like what happens is each individual person, yes, having high expectations often will create challenge in your life in everything, including Marvel movies. So like, I intentionally I didn't watch a lot of stuff on purpose so that I could enjoy the movie. I agree that we needed more time. I agree we should have that extra 48 minutes that Batman had. That shit could have been here, definitely. However, each individual person, depending on what pieces, parts, storylines, comics you have preference or information about, right? It impacts you. What pieces you want or you feel like should fit together in a storyline that may not have been included. So
right.
I'm not invalidating what you're saying. I'm just saying that it winds up being in each individual's, I don't want to say choice, but like there's a way to enjoy the thing as it's happening as opposed to
having all these expectations.
Not just expectations, but like all the pieces. I hear what you're saying because you want it to all you want everything to come together and make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Yeah.
However,
who are these people though? These people that say they have inside scoops and they're telling you stuff that apparently this time turned out to be not necessarly everything you said was correct.
This is the same. Right? The person I looked into, the YouTuber that started those narratives and is the one behind a lot of those articles. He's the same person that leaked those Spider-Man photos before No Way Home came out.
Right.
Because
maybe that was his one lick.
Access to them.
Maybe that was his one lick and he continues to proliferate shit for clicks and likes. Like you have to remember, these people who have these platforms, they're definitely out to create content, whether it be truthful, whether it be just supposition. Like we are discussing our feelings on the movie, right? After we have seen the movie, after we have seen the movie once or twice, talked to other people about the movie, we're discussing our opinions on the product. Those type of people, they are building these narratives about the product before it even comes out. And shit is so really locked down now. Like you notice, you don't get a whole lot of good copies if you have a Fire Stick or whatever of this type of shit because they have it so locked down because at the click of a button, it's over for them, right? They have to keep this shit under lock and key and threaten multiple lawsuits to people if they find out that you leaked this shit. Like, I don't really dig that kind of leak, so to speak, because more times than not, it may be heard from somebody who heard it from somebody's girlfriend who works on the lot, who heard it from someone else, who heard it from someone else. It's gone through several iterations of telephone before it gets to you on this dude telling you this shit on the internet. So, I would prefer. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I think you're right, Keish, because that's one of the things that made me enjoy this movie because I had to lower my expectations because, Chris, I know exactly the guy who you're talking about. Like, trust me, me being a Marvel fan, like, I know exactly the guy you're talking about. I know a lot of these leaks that have gotten out. There was at one point there was a whole list of fucking cameos that like just came out.
Somebody what I saw was somebody like, "Hey, stop watching, stop looking, y'all." Like about 2 weeks before the movie dropped, they was just like, "Just stop watching, stop looking. If you see something, just turn away because there's shit coming, and some of it's real, some of it's not, some of it's good, and some of it's bad.
Right.
Don't fuck up your movie going experience trying to know all the answers before you get there."
Right. And do we really think that 30 minutes, because 35 minutes of the movie, 34 minutes of the movie, we're going to have this long list of cameos that y'all talking about that would have pushed the story along the line any more than it was?
Okay. So I don't know if it would have, I don't know what the rest of the extra 30 minutes of footage or scenes were going to consist of. But I do know this. I believe that I think I would have enjoyed that movie more than this movie. And I would hope, I don't know this for a fact, but I would hope it would put everything in its proper context. I'm not just looking for a bunch of fan service like they did with the Arrowverse, or like they did with No Way Home. Like I'm actually like I'm looking for the story, you know, to have some dope plot developments and foreshadowing. Like, though I'm gonna be honest, it's not just for me. Like I said, it's not just the fact that they didn't have certain cameos. The post-credit scenes were lame to me. Them post-credit scenes were short. And
I will admit that. You're right about that.
They were unusual.
The first one.
Yo, you get excited when them post-credit scenes come out. None of them post-credit scenes excited me. Like, usually you think you on the edge of your seat. You can't wait to see the next whatever movie. But these ones were like, I don't know, they were like really, they were short, they were quick, and not to say that they weren't comic book accurate. That's not the point. The point is, I feel like this movie was extremely rushed. I recently found out characters like Mephisto and Chthon are, you know, they're demonic characters and entities. But I say that to say that in China, they don't like a lot of supernatural things in their media.
China, we make a lot of our movies based on China, like China's perspective, because
they're the hugest market.
Getting access to all those people, right.
Yeah. And Disney and Marvel have to keep that in mind when they make these movies. So that's why I'm also thinking a lot of things might have gotten cut out because they still have to cater to the Chinese media. Because that was the reason why the Tibetan monk wasn't in Doctor Strange, and they made old girl become the ancient one. So they're still catering to the Chinese demographic. My thing is, I just don't want. I would hate for that to ruin the creative, the creative direction that these people want to take here in America. So if there is a Sam Raimi cut of this movie, I would love to see it. And I would love for them to release it exclusively over here. And then to your point earlier, I feel as though when you mentioned about in response to what you said about Mortal earlier, I feel like there's certain things that they don't hold as important. So it's like, well, Mortal had that post-credit scene at the end, but we can just cut that. Like, I feel like they felt as though certain things wasn't relevant or didn't matter. And to me, I feel like those things did matter, because what Marvel has done for over 10 years now, and I hate to say it, I've been conditioned to watch Marvel movies a certain way versus how I watch DC movies. The way I felt about the Batman is how I probably should have went into this movie. There was no expectations. There was no hype for me. I didn't get excited for anything. I went in there with an open mind, and I should have did that with this movie. I actually like the Batman movie better, and it's probably because there was a lack of expectation. There was a lack of expectation there. So I understand exactly what you're saying from the expectation aspect of it. But the thing is, it's too late now. Like, there's no way I can undo my expectations. So, but I just feel like they cut a lot of things out because, one, they felt like it wasn't important, which I feel like it was important. Y'all have y'all reasons, but I think that the 2 hours and 40 minutes, we possibly could have gotten a great movie versus a good movie.
Yeah, I always want more pepperoni on my pizza. I always want more pepperoni on my pizza. So
let me come out.
Look, I call that thing the multiverse of sadness, or the multiverse of
the multiverse of confusion.
Let me black bolt this with with better results, though.
The multiverse of mediocrity is my favorite, though.
The multiverse of mediocrity. I like that.
Well, because here's the thing too, and this is just kind of encapsulating a lot of what was hit on this. Like, I will say, with the whole Marvel has been known to, and it is shown too, like, to be shoehorned in there. Specifically, y'all remember 2 instances you remember the Chinese doctor that saved Tony Stark in Iron Man. Yeah, he had a bigger role in the in the extended version of it that was sent to China, where he was the only doctor, because they even brought it up in the American cut, he was the only doctor that could perform the surgery. Then on top of that, like, you remember the magic machine that saved Hawkeye? You remember that? The doctor, they specifically had an emphasis on having a certain Asian character be there, because they've struck deals before, or for the Chinese market, is to show China in a better light when it comes to their movies. And like I said, it definitely, some of the stuff didn't quite fit well as far as the narrative. And I agree with Chris on this. Like, it shouldn't affect the movie, like, if you're telling the story how it is versus having to insert or remove things that are key to making the movie what it is. And with the Baron Mordo thing, like, all right, I'm gonna say this straight up. I feel like some execs went, hey, he's not a big enough threat, because with the first Doctor Strange movie, they make it prevalent right there, and and I know we're on a Marvel podcast, but it's also the same thing that they did with Sinestro. Sinestro is Green Lantern's like ultimate enemy. You know, he's the guy that's like, no, everything that went wrong, I blame you, and I'm going to devote my life to like getting back at you. Same way like Mordo. Mordo had a story leading from, okay, dude comes in here, wants to do what I do, you know, try to make a mockery out of everything that we do as sorcerers. Right. And then he gets to end up being the Sorcerer Supreme. Screw it, I'm done with this. So it was weird that like they sidebarred him and went, oh, well, this version, he's the Sorcerer Supreme of this universe. Oh, everything's good. All right, we'll just have him basically chastise him and then, you know, be this side character. And it's like, well, a lot of people, yeah, like us, who watched Doctor Strange and wanted to see that come up, see what happened. We only got him just basically making a glorified cameo. Like, he essentially was just there to be like, hey, Steven, you screwed up. You know, you're going to keep screwing up. And yeah, this is what happens. I'm out. You know, you took a character that could have been
the whole Illuminati were like an afterthought.
Oh, okay, all right. That is my one big gripe with that movie.
Hold on, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So hold on, save that thought, because that's one of my biggest gripes right there. Oh, so hold on.
All right, I know I'm not the one.
So hold on. So next we're gonna go into I'm gonna go down this character list, and you know, I want to know your likes, dislikes, you know, if you had any expectations of these characters, you know what I mean? I'm going to start off with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Candy, go.
Huh? A dislike?
Likes or dislikes? Like, what do you think about this character overall? You know?
I just realized I said this shit already. Like I said, the character arc in this storyline for him, it felt minimal, but like I feel like I see where they're going with it. We just ain't there yet. Like they kept repeating certain things, like, you know, about happy, asking, you know, are you happy? Kept right. And him and old girl. I'm gonna get off topic because I don't like her. We could have done without her. I said that already.
No, Christine. Oh, we gonna get to her.
I don't like her. I don't know that I have something to say about every single fucking character. That's what's happening right now, is me thinking about all the fucking characters that now you want me to talk about, and I ain't gonna say I got something profound to say about all the motherfuckers. So I'm distracted. But I mean, thumbs up. Just I feel like they're setting his character arc up for something different than just the lights. Like I said earlier, the light switch cutting on, right? When old girl was talking about how it always needs to be his hand on the knife. It always needs to be him in charge or whatever. And this is taking accountability. This is the other thing. Some of the themes, I understand that y'all wanted to just be perfectly like all like comic book accurate. However, some of the other themes, so that are getting in, like that are getting like laced in are they realize their audience is growing up too. So some of those themes are things that are happening in the real fucking world, and it's not just gonna just be about the comic books, like Black Widow, right? The idea where some of those ideas were like newer things and topics that have developed around women's rights movement, equality and stuff that may not make sense, may not have made sense or fallen in line when the story was initially created. When we was watching Moon Knight and he forgave himself, I was like, holy shit, are we having therapy today? Right?
That whole series was a damn visit to the therapist.
Therapy session. Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like we miss stuff because we're forgetting that they're trying to also connect with some of the ideas and topics and themes of things that are happening today. They're kind of intertwined, they're interlacing them into the stories. And you can like it or not, but I feel like that's
just
what
trying to keep it up to date and relevent. And like you said, the audience is growing up. I see it happening now. I didn't see it back when I was, first started watching like MCU shit, like 2000. But I noticed an ever-growing like set of stories where it's relevant to what's happening in the modern world, like Law and Order.
She said bong bong.
Can I respond to Candy right quick?
Yeah.
All of what you're saying is great, and I feel where you're coming from, but that's no excuse for the Taskmaster that they gave us, and no one like that. I don't think there's a woman that's a fan of the MCU cared for that Taskmaster. Everything else you said is cool, but that Taskmaster has no bearing on any of that.
They did that, right? But they did that for the storyline to develop, like the women coming together. That they did that for that storyline to develop. That was what that was about. I hear what you're saying. You're right, though.
Horrible Taskmaster.
I agree on that one as a fan of
yeah.
I won't have to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's no growth or woman empowerment that's available in this world that could convince me that Taskmaster was great.
That's okay. No, but I hear you. Yeah, I'm just saying that they're blending the things. So sometimes
I'm cool with that.
Like sometimes as the storylines are developing, it'd be about different stuff.
Right. They did it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They made it very grounded and realistic and based in reality and somewhat, parallel with the Black experience.
Yeah, So I'm just saying that somebody else's turn to talk about something strange. Somebody talk about Steven. Pull that black bottom with gold chain though.
Keysha, what do you think about Doctor Strange?
I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed the different iterations of the Doctor Strange as they went through the universes. And each one of those had some kind of maybe character flaw that he holds himself, that he kind of resolved as he rid that universe of that Strange. So I enjoyed it.
Okay. Quinn?
All right, so I'm going to go on this, and just to jump back to like an hour ago, we were talking about this. I watched the Doctor Strange movie, and I enjoyed it, but a part of me was like, okay, so you coming across as Tony Stark light, just the similar mannerisms and really that whole, idea of someone so selfish kind of gets this comeuppance and then they have to turn their life around and get this responsibility. I kind of felt like, okay, cool. All right, I hope we're done with that. And he grew as they started putting him in the other movies, but it didn't sit as well. Like once it came to his movie and there was still that whole, so you ain't really learned shit. But I did like that they pushed it towards, him kind of realizing, okay, well, maybe I do need to kind of humble myself on this. There's a lot of stuff I messed up that I need to atone for, and that down the line, I'm going to have to face at some point, because from the get-go, he essentially, much like Tony Stark, like, and it's a unpopular opinion, but I share this. Both of them were the villains for like how the MCU felt like unfolded, you know, from creating things that like became problems later on to like where we are now. Like Doctor Strange, if he hadn't meddled with like, you know, stuff back, even in his movie, it wouldn't have gotten to where it is now, you know. And now it's the whole, hey, you know, the bill has come due, and you gotta own up to it. You gotta find a way to do it. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm liking this whole arc of him learning. All right, well, you know, there are consequences to the stuff that I do, and right now I gotta really, really turn it around and fix this, or else, you know, at the end of the day, it's gonna be all my fault. Like, people are gonna die because I screwed up, and they show that too. Like when he had to make that choice of giving Thanos like the time stone, and just that whole, I had no choice. And even in this one, they did a good job at kind of being like, hey, you're gonna always have those choices. You know, it's all about how you make that choice. Even down to when dude was like, yeah, man, you know, did you really have to do that? Did I have to lose my brother? Like, you know, did all of this have to happen? And then he just kind of had to sit there and lie and just be like, I had no choice. So I felt like it was a good start to character growth. Yes. But I hate that it was just kind of spanned throughout it. Yeah, like throughout the other movies. And now we're getting to the, okay, cool. All right, now it's time for you to be an actual real existing character.
Yeah. That and coming off of you, Quinn, you know, my take on Doctor Strange is, you know, I feel that, you know, in the beginning of the movie, of course, I thought he was, you know, like I said before, you know, we talked about this for, you know, an hour leading up to this, but I was saying that, you know, he's a dick. It's crazy. His name is Benedict, and he's been a dick, you know, since his first, you know, movie up until now. You know what I'm saying? And I think by the end of the movie, he finally came to the realization, because if you think about it, like when the movie first you know, this movie first started, you know, he had that dream and he ended up killing America Chavez. And you know, by the end of the movie, he came to the realization, well, I would say, you know, based on the influence of Wong, you know, Wong kind of like encouraged him, like, look, like, she's the only way, like, it's the only way we can get out of here. And he solely relied on America, and he kind of gave her that pep talk, which we'll talk about later, because that was one of my damn, you know, that was one of my quirks in that movie as to why, like, you know, America Chavez character like didn't all the way do it for me. But you know, he gave her that pep talk, and he was kind of like, you know, pretty much like, get it together, this, that, and the third, you know, gave it a pep talk, and was a mentor for her in that moment, to where she was able to do what she was able to do. So, you know, I guess like this movie for me was more about his accountability. It wasn't necessarily set out to make him great per se. It was more so like, you know, all right, we know this character is known to be a dick. You know, we known him to be a dick in his own movie. We known him to be a dick in Infinity War. Like, you know, this is him taking accountability. And, you know, like Quinn said, like finally coming to the realization of like, all right, we're going to take this time out to reflect, you know, give our own little therapy session. And
I've been going
from here on out. Pretty much. I've been good. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I've been going through some things. Like, look, listen, hear me out. You know what I'm saying? And he's pretty much like, you know, accepting that and dealing with that. And what we see from him from here on forward will be his redemption tale, per se. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on him. Moving on in the characters.
I can't share mine.
Oh! I thought you did, but my bad, Chris. My bad.
Nah, you good. Nah, I just responded to her comment earlier.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
So I don't really have any criticism or strong opinions on his character development or how he's being portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch. But what I will say is this. You know, for someone who was dubbed the Sorcerer Supreme, he gets his ass kicked way too many times. This man got beat by Ebony Maw. He got beat by Thanos, which I'll give him a pass on that one slightly because that might have been the only way they could have stopped Thanos later. Wanda was kicking his ass all through that movie. Like he had no W's over her whatsoever. I just feel like he gets tossed around like a rag doll way too many times. Yeah, he got the upper hand on Mordo, but that was a hand-to-hand combat. That didn't require powers, and he beat himself, which I really don't think that shows how strong you are. I feel like they haven't shown how actual powerful he is as the Sorcerer Supreme, and I think that this ongoing joke of since he was gone, Wong became the Sorcerer Supreme, so he no longer has that title. I think that joke was ran its course. Like, give this man his title back and show these people, you know, what you can do and what you're capable of. I have not seen, honestly, he's been powerful in regards to making certain things happen, but when it comes to fighting an enemy, I don't think he's showcased enough of his power. Remember, he stopped Dormammu by outsmarting him. He didn't necessarily do anything that
magical
made him stronger than him.
Yeah.
Right. I just think they're doing him a disservice in that level because I think he should be showcased as way stronger. Like Captain America has feats. This man held a helicopter and pulled it down. You know, like Thor and Hulk had feats. Like he has magical feats in him doing great things, but not on no one-on-one fights with other people that have magical abilities.
Mm-hmm.
True. Look, to combat that real quick, in that movie, it was stated that he was the Sorcerer Supreme in multiple multiverses, and pretty much every multiverse except the 616, where Wong was the Sorcerer Supreme. Mm-hmm. So, given that we had that 616 Doctor Strange, that could probably attest to how weak he was. You get what I'm saying? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Due to that, because like in every other multiverse, I forgot who said it. I want to say it was Wong that said it in the movie, like or something like that, where it was stated that he was the Sorcerer Supreme in pretty much every multiverse except 616.
But that's just because of a technicality. That's not because of anything, you know, of substance. That's like because you were sick, I had to step down and take your place.
Right. What if that's part of Chris? What if that's part of like the story, the forward-reaching story arc? I think that'd be interesting. That was like part of like, can we do that in the next movie?
I mean, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's kind of bullseye on Wong because it ain't looking good for him in the future. Because they mentioned, you know, if something happens to the Sorcerer Supreme,
well, hell,
the next person.
Well, hell, it was a point in the movie where I thought Wong was about to die.
Me too. I was like, oh damn, we're done.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I said, Wong dead. I said, Wong dead. You know what I mean? So,
hey, Steve, should we go get Wong? Nah, he good.
Right. So that you know, with that, you know, that was my only, you know, that was me playing devil's advocate to that, because, you know, I did hear them mention like, oh well, you know, Strange is Sorcerer Supreme in like all of the other multiverses, but 616 he wasn't, and we damn sure know that you know, in the 838 he wasn't, because he was fucking dead. You know, you know, Illuminati killed him. You know what I'm saying? So, what do we think about moving on? What do we think about Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff? What do we think about her character?
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Neither is Wanda Maximoff.
Candy, I'll start with you because you on it. Like,
don't be starting with me. Start with somebody else, because that's all I'm going to say about it.
Adoption is an option. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll start. She is one of my favorite villains ever because I'm a mom and I feel all of that rage to protect your family and protect your husband and protect your kids, even if they're not real or maybe they are real or maybe they're real in this universe and not real in that one. But all of that emotion, right? It's kind of hyperbole for what a good mother feels, right? Because somebody fucks with my kids, I am raging out. Maybe not destroying the whole entire world and building a fake universe in my head, but it is that character speaks to me on the base level of being a mother. She's like my favorite. Right. One of my favorite Marvel characters, period, but one of my favorite villains, if you want to call it that, ever. And I love how she shredded the Illuminati. So,
shit, we're gonna get there. I feel you on that note because like I just posted up earlier. It was a meme and it said, "Imagine me killing people in several universes over some kids I made in The Sims." You know what I'm saying? That's Wanda, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm a mom. I don't give a fuck if kids is made up or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they my kids.
They mods. But yeah, most definitely. I think and I'll just go ahead and give my take before but like I think she was a great villain in this movie, and I think pretty much my opinion of this movie, which is that it's pretty much the ending or the conclusion of WandaVision for me.
Yeah,
it's for me. It seemed like to me that Wanda was more so the standout character than even Strange was. And that's me. Now, it's not taking nothing away from the movie for me at all, but it's just how I perceived it. And it was more so like, it was the end of her, her arc. And it was like, all right, walking away from this movie, it just led me to believe that this is the ending. Let's face it, we just ended off seeing Spider-Man No Way Home. That was the end of his arc, pretty much. This is the end of his arc. Now he's a man. He's really Spider-Man, right? So now we go into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Spider-Man. Yeah, right, exactly. And so now we go into, Doctor Strange's movie, and it's like, all right, how are we going to end these arcs off? And I feel like we just discussed earlier with, Doctor Strange's character, it seemed like he took accountability. All right. He accepted some things. He went through therapy. Whoop-de-whoop. All right. What's next? Now for Wanda, it's like, okay, I realized these kids ain't real. I made them up, whoop-de-whoop. They end up crushing the whole fucking, what was the name of that damn building or whatever? It just came down crushing on her. And
I think Wendigo Mountain, something like that.
Right. So now supposedly she's dead or whatever, which I doubt that. But for me, she was the ultimate villain. My only gripe was I didn't think they would get right to the shits that fast in the movie. Because
I will say though, it had a good transitional point or the moment where he's like, okay, all right, it turned real quick. It was that little bit of dialogue when he was asking her for help. And then she was like, yeah, how can I help America? And then
it was a good transition, but the transition was happening too fast.
Did it another way. They could have did it another way.
You said, Chris, you said they could have did it.
Yeah, the transition was great, but they could have did that differently.
I agree. I agree.
Where it didn't feel as rushed.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Yeah, the transition was perfect because when the fucking, the leaves and shit, the flowers dissipated, and you see the red hue in the background, and everything just like, and I'm like, oh shit, we here now. Like I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, shit, the movie just started. Like what the fuck? Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
Because she did it well.
Right. Yeah. No, she definitely, Elizabeth Olsen, she definitely does that role well. But yeah, it just happened so quick for me. I think that was my only gripe. The fact that it didn't, like the dialogue was so short, and although the transition was right, it seemed right, but it seemed wrong at the same time. If that's if that's to be even,
that makes total sense to me.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was my only gripe with her character. But overall, like, I love how she pretty much haunted the rest of the characters or whatever. And we'll get into that later on when we expound on how Sam Raimi's influenced the movie. But overall, I loved her character. I think, matter of fact, I think her character was the dopest to me out of all the characters in the movie, to be honest. Just knowing, even being a comic book reader and knowing her origin story, knowing, all of her different stories and different arcs and everything. I even talked about this on the last podcast, like how we think, even me and my crew, we think that, it's, this whole thing, of course, this whole thing is going to lead up to Secret Wars, but how we think in between that time frame, they could introduce Doom and perhaps even introduce the Avengers Children's Crusade arc. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so that's my take on it. Chris, what you think about Wanda?
The only thing I didn't like is the ending, because I've never cared for I realized the error of my ways at the end. When they do that in movies, I've always looked at that as lazy writing. So I've never cared for that, and not even outside of the MCU. So honestly, that was my only gripe. And it was at that moment where I felt that they should have shown that there was some Mephisto possession or Mephisto influence or Chthon, whichever demonic character they want to do. I don't like the idea of the Darkhold having that much of an influence over her versus an actual character. So it's like remember when we would get excited for Easter eggs, and because it would foreshadow all these different things. Like, let's be honest, Endgame, Loki, No Way Home, Marvel's What If, all those things, and WandaVision, all those things were supposed to set up the story for this movie, and they didn't.
Right.
We was all expecting them to set up the story for this movie, and it really didn't.
The title Multiverse of Madness, like that whole title, made you think you was getting something bigger than we got. I can say that.
Yeah, like I asked for a large. I asked for a large. I got a medium.
Well, nowadays in the restaurants, I ask for a medium, and it's like a large ass cup. It's like a cup this size.
but that's right. That's because you went into the restaurant with no expectations.
No, I expect. When I say medium, it's like a regular, like old school medium. So I had to have the whole conversation with the people. I'm like, is your medium? Is it medium, or is it like a large medium?
A large medium, right?
It's subjective now.
Right. Just show me the cup.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who thought 2 hours and 6 minutes was a long movie.
I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
No.
Hey, Chris, that was one of my biggest gripes, and I don't know if I don't know. I might have said it on the podcast with you were a guest, but I was saying I was kind of skeptical and I was kind of scared because the fucking runtime was so short. I was like, wait a minute.
It'd be like 3 hours. I really was. And I
for sure.
3 hours. And then I looked at it. 2 hours and 6 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be at least like close to 3 hours because just based off of the fact of all of the like leaks and the cameos and just so much hype built around it. And then not only that, based on like let's face it, the commercial that they released, like the very first commercial, it pretty much is the movie. Like, let's be honest. Like that's the whole movie in that commercial. And that's the reason why Kevin Feige is pissed, but then that's neither.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. We discussed that. We discussed that last episode of the pod, but like that's neither here nor there. Like
last thing I want to say, I just want to say right quick, I still believe she's alive too. I don't think she's dead. I think that if they killed her the same way that If they killed her like that, the same way she killed Captain Marvel, that would be so lame.
I'm pulling out.
No, please stop bringing up her.
We're gonna get to this Illuminati because that's like I think that's the meat and potatoes of this shit right here. But
well, I gotta go, guys. This has been so great, and please tag me in the next one. And I learned some more. I learned a lot today. Thanks, guys. Nice meeting you, Quinn and Chris. See you, Candy, baby.
All right, Keysha.
Bye.
Appreciate. All right. So, I think that all of us told, pretty much explain how Wanda was important or not important to the film. What about Baron Mordo? We alluded to it here and there, but to me, I mean, he wasn't really a big factor to me. Like I said, like Chris said, also, judging from the first film, he should have been a sinister ass motherfucker. And this film, that should have been just straight going, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I love when I said he just grew his hair out.
Yeah, he alluded to it.
Doctor Strange alluded to it and said, "Hey, you've been trying to attack me for da 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 da," and so it's like that. Apparently, it is something that has happened and taken place as far as him becoming a villain. But I just think y'all can't just say these things or foreshadow these things and not show it on camera.
And not show it. Exactly.
And I feel like and that right there is the reason why they can get away with certain things. That's why they can get away with not showing Thanos destroy Xandar and take the Power Stone, or destroy Nowhere and take the Reality Stone. Like, I would have loved to see that on camera.
Well, you see, Chris, like earlier we were talking about, because I was speaking Soros the same thing in a way, because I was saying, like, Marvel is pretty much worried about like the bigger fish to fry rather than like the little stuff. But like these things you're mentioning, these to me are like some of the key. There's some small things that need to be shined upon to get to the bigger story. Me, I was more so talking to like the stuff that was like that really didn't matter. But like you said, like, like what happened in between the time before he met Mordo in the other multiverse, or like you said, with Thanos destroying Xandar, like what happened between that time. Yeah, like exactly. These are some key issues.
When Thor said,
right.
When Thor said Thanos wiped half of the Asgardians and destroyed Xandar and took the Power Stone last week. Like when you say things like that, so that means, okay, he wiped out half of the Asgardians. So that means the Asgardians escaped and got away somewhere. And then we saw an Endgame that's actually what happened. Like, we got the confirmation.
Yeah, what happened though? It's like what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. We got the confirmation that they're still alive and that they escaped. And you just can't say things like that and not do anything with it. And that's my gripe. I don't want that to be a ongoing thing, because Marvel has been consistent for quite some time with the way they tell their stories. And I don't want them to start switching it up and change up now. Nah, like, keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Right. Exactly.
My bad.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted to express that right quick.
Nigga, nah. You good.
It's completely valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because I don't know. Neuroplasticity, my nigga. Our brains love consistency, and they are uncomfortable when we change. Even if it's something like walking, like the path we take to go to work, like the idea oftentimes of like changing how we think about things or process things or see stuff isn't always comfortable. So I'm aware of the fact that if they do things, sometimes I'm playing devil's advocate, but at the same time, just I like looking at things from another perspective. Like, why can't it be different? Just because it's uncomfortable don't mean it's bad all the time.
Well, I will say this though. I agree with Chris on that, and with the whole, I'm gonna refer to him as Carl because his mama named him Carl. So the way Carl came out with that, that whole thing, where it just kind of felt like it was like, oh hey, yeah, you spent all this time, like, this dude really, really hated me. And then it just kind of got chalked up. Oh, yeah, we beefed and you died. Then, like, yeah, I'm in charge now. So we cool.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Wouldn't it be fun if the extra half an hour? Wouldn't it be fun if the extra half an hour, like, wrapped up all this fucking shit? And we sitting here griping about, wouldn't it be fun if it wrapped up a bunch of that shit? I'm not sure how quick, how that would. I don't know if we would then complain about it being wrapping it up too fast, but, like, I'm just saying, wouldn't it be fun if we could? It
would have been good though if they would have just gave just a couple more minutes to it, other than
I agree.
I drugged y'all. So I drugged y'all. Y'all, I'm gonna take y'all to Illuminati. If it would have just been a simple little couple minute talk between them, be like, yeah, you did all this stuff, even in this universe, and blah blah blah.
Look,
cool.
that's kind of my gripe with, like, and we'll get there, but that's kind of my gripe with the Illuminati though. Like, it's like, give me just a little bit. Like, I would probably understand their demise a little bit more if you gave me a little bit more time with them. It's just like, here, the Illuminati, they're dead. I mean, what else do we have? Like, you know what I'm saying? So. But
it was like a little itty bitty chocolate bar.
For real.
And they could still do something with Mortal later. I'm not saying that they won't. Nothing's, you can't write everything completely off. I'm just saying that I don't want them to not doing anything.
Right.
You don't like the idea that, like, the precedent of not, like, of giving a piece of fucking information, not telling the story well. It's just
right.
Because it would have been good to at least have Dr. Strange walk away going, all right, so when I get back, there's still another one floating around. What did I do to piss him off that bad, and will it happen here?
Right, exactly.
And make sure his hair's cut. I don't want those Tyler Perry braids.
Oh shit! that motherfucking lace front he had on, man.
I don't know why he had to do that. Like, there was so many other things. We could have even gave him a different kind of lace front. We could have gave him waves. Like the kids that be having on the Instagram video, TikTok videos where they put the hair on, they do it on.
Don't let him pull out that magical brush. Don't let him pull that brush out.
Hey, listen. I said he had that Shamar Moore, Tyler Perry joint on, man. What was that Tyler Perry movie with Shamar Moore?
I had a Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Bad or Diary of a Mad Black Woman, man. Diary of a Mad Black Sorcerer or Mad White Sorcerer or Mad Black Sorcerer, I should say.
No more braids. More braids.
Diary of a Mad Black Sorcerer. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of people, it's not important. It's not important, but a lot of people don't remember Sif is still alive. Sif never got killed in the MCU. What happened was she couldn't make the shoot dates because she was shooting another movie. The only time they showed her again was on Loki. So I feel
that's right.
During
that Luke situation, right?
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So there's a way that they can incorporate her back into the story. Like, don't just create these characters and discard them when you feel as though they're no longer relevant. I mean, granted, there are things that are irrelevant. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying that there are some things that can be discarded. I understand all those things. I'm just saying, like, come on, though. Let's tie this thing together.
Oh, she's gonna be in Love and Thunder. Like, there was some talk about the fact they were able to get her to come back for it because she was just like, yeah, I wasn't available because of my show, but I'm definitely down to be in, like, the next movie. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. So we
okay. I hope so. I would love to. I feel like they could have did a thing where they showed when Loki took over Asgard as Odin. They could have said something like, well, Odin sits her on a mission and she ain't been back since, type of thing. Like, they could have did that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's many.
True.
There's
it's a lot of
make sense.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of ways they can, go about that. All right. So next character, we're going to talk about Benedict Wong. Wong, he had his runtime wasn't, as high as Elizabeth Olsen or Benedict Cumberbatch, but is it right to say Wong was right? I mean,
Wong
is it cool? He's always right? Wong is always right.
Wong is essentially, look, don't you know how this bullshit gonna end, bro. You know how it's going to end. That is him in every one of these movies. It's been, hey,
for
look,
real.
Don't be messing around with these books.
Even his short stint in Shang-Chi, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the voice of reason for real. Like, to be honest, like, he's the voice of reason for real. He came to the realization at the end to be like, hey, America is the way. Like, honing on her pretty much. Like, it's her. You know what I'm saying? And that's what convinced, Steven to go that route. But like I said, I thought Wong had died at that one point. You know what I'm saying? He was hanging off the edge of the cliff. He fell off. I said, oh, shit, it done killed Wong. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. So instantly in the back of my mind, I said, so does that make Steven Sorcerer Supreme or what? But he showed back up. So I was like, okay, they're not trying to go that route right now.
I would say yes. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, so this is just a precursor to what's to come, because we know. Yeah. Look, if all of y'all that seen this movie, if y'all don't know that Wong is about to fucking die, like, come on now.
I don't know if he's gonna die, but Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. Like let's stop acting like this was a mantle that was passed down to Wong because he became more powerful. He became more worthy. No, Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. He just don't care about that title. That's all it is.
Man, y'all keep we keep messing around like this. We're gonna end up with an after credit scene. Them playing them at the Ruck, like playing 1-on-1.
Yeah,
like said them at the Ruck.
There was a reason why there was a reason why the Ancient One was waiting on him.
Yeah, for sure. I do agree with that, for sure. Yeah, it definitely was. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. Ultimately, I think this is just like, they was just giving us a prediction, pretty much, like, of what's to come. And like you said, Chris, he may not die. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying, but like it pretty much seems to me that, like, he's going to somehow, the mantle is going to get passed. I don't know if it's through death or what, but the fact that right, and the fact that Doctor Strange came to realization this movie and came to he accepted accountability, and you know what I'm saying. I think that's going to play into him, even with him going with Clea at the end, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and we all know what that's going to entail. I think that the next movie is crazy that Clea is the niece of Dormammu. So, like, does that mean he's going to face Dormammu in the next movie again? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
And that's the thing, because when she opened the rift, it looked like the Dark Dimension. And
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, they going right back to it. Like, what the fuck?
Right, and that's the thing too. Like, the next movie they show, I really want them to showcase his power, because this man has the third eye. And I think he should learn how to tap into the powers of the Dark Dimension, because that's what the Ancient One did. So it's like, yo,
right.
Pardon my French, but let your nuts hang, Stephen Strange. Like, don't be afraid to showcase who you are and why you should be revered and held in high regard. Like, this is your universe. Like, remember what he did to Loki? He tossed Loki like it was child's play and had him falling for 30 minutes. Like, that's how you need to act with everyone, man, moving forward. You gotta put your Agamotto on, your cape on, and get to work.
Well, and they showed.
Look, it's.
I was about to say, and they showed too, and this is where, like, the movie did excel at, like, these little bits. They showed too that he had been mastering a lot of techniques that aren't particularly, like, him using good magic, like him harnessing, like, chaos magic, specifically that whole bus fight scene. You know, that was the reason why they couldn't see him, much like in Moon Knight. It's because there's chaos magic, and everyone knows when he in the comics would use the Eye Imago, like he would get that third eye that allowed him to see things in another plane.
Well,
for
sure. I mean, I think he should be able to use both. Use the dark dimension power and the third eye at the same time. Man, that dude will be unstoppable.
Hey,
but that's how he is in the comics, though. Like he hones in on every aspect of that, because, like, let's face it. Remember in the movie, he was like, she uses witchcraft. Like, so he established that witchcraft is different than sorcery, which I can roll with that. All right. Witchcraft.
Yeah, like he should have been he should have been offended when Agatha said, "You're more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme." Like
Supreme.
I would have been upset. Like Doctor Strange should have been upset about that. Like, what you mean?
Right. But now that he obtained the Darkhold, shit is fair game now. Like, nigga, like I'm gonna learn this shit and my shit. What the fuck?
I hope so, because he's remember what Kendrick did to Big Sean on that Control verse. That's what's happening to him. That's what Wanda. That's what
I love that.
Wanda.
I love that.
That's what Wanda did to him. Like they over here treating him like Meek Mill, after Drake did back to back. Like.
After the back-to-back verse, like, look, and it's crazy because, before we were talking, because we were like equating the Doctor Strange movie like haters or whatever to like the Kendrick album haters, and it's like, because both came out around the same time, preferably within a week of each other or something like that. And I could be wrong.
And both had a hype. Both had a hype around them.
And both had a hype around them or whatever. And then now we getting these, like, it's like kind of the same fucking takes on both. The exact same takes, like on the album and the movie. And that's why I said, well, Kendrick should have been featured in the movie and Doctor Strange should have been featured on the album. You know what I'm saying? So, but
let them two have one picture. Let them two have one picture at like some press event, and boom, it's gonna start right back over.
Right, right. But moving along. What do you guys think of America Chavez? Okay, so like this was like one of the main characters that have been talked about. I've been listening to different. I'm an avid podcast listener. I'm an avid book reader. I'm an avid, I read a lot of stories, different articles on certain subjects or whatever. And a lot has been honing on this America Chavez, character. It's played by, if I could say her name right, is it? Oh man, Shoshi Gomez. I'm not even going to slaughter her name, man. But it's
everybody messing it up, including myself. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even want to. You know what I'm saying? But she played America Chavez. In the comic books, America Chavez is one of the dopest characters to me. I will say. She's very, very powerful. I'm not even going to say very powerful. She's very, very powerful. She's much older than she was in the MCU. And she just basically, I guess in this movie, she was kind of dumbed down, per se. Throughout the movie, she was just, pretty much just being chased and just didn't know how to use her powers and just screaming and carrying on. But by the end of the movie, all it took was a pep talk from Doctor Strange for her to like get in gear and like use her powers or whatever. I know some of you seen. Matter of fact, I think Chris, you posted up the meme of her, like. They said she's basically a Latinx character who's known for like
they checked all the
border hopping. Border hopping.
That shit is hilarious. Yeah,
that shit is hilarious. Yeah,
and I tried to post that meme like secretly because I ain't want to offend nobody. Like I don't want any problems with any community.
Exactly. We were going to post that. meme, but I was like, no, I'm gonna retract. I grew up in North Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I got family in Flatbush, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I grew up around a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, a lot of Cubans, and I don't want to offend anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna leave this one alone.
You're not gonna cancel me 5 years from now.
Right. Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, I'll post it. My cousins probably will call me up about it.
But yeah, so America Chavez, you know what I'm saying? To me, I'm gonna just give my quick take on it. She's a very powerful character. I didn't really start to get deep into hers until I started reading the Ultimates. Which was, a team conformed by, I guess you could say, a good Galactus. This Galactus, he births worlds instead of devouring worlds. And, he formed this team that consisted of like Blue Marvel, I want to say Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, America Chavez, Black Panther, like some of the dopest motherfuckers. Like this team was like, that's why they call the Ultimates. Like this is one of my favorite teams. But like in that storyline, she was very useful, and she dope, just dope all around. They got that one infamous cover where she's like, she got that big hat on, and she's like Beyonce in her video. I think it was the video for Formation or whatever. But like, she's very, you know what I'm saying? She's she embraces her lesbian, queer, like roots and everything. And, she's like Latinx. Like it just like she's just a dope character.
I like that she ate
but to
food.
me, right.
I know. Women don't get to eat food in TV and movies because we're all supposed to be quiet and small and stuff. Like it's a thing that like guys, you have no reason to notice or pay attention to, but we don't get to talk about us liking food in the same way. So that shit stood out to me like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah, that's a dope take.
She was talking about food all the time. I was like, yes.
She's like, in this universe, we like when they were selling the pizza balls or whatever. They had my man, what's his name? Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead fame, which is like some of my like, and we'll get to Sam Raimi. Like Sam Raimi is one of like, he's just dope. But yeah, the fact that she's saying, yeah, the pizza balls, she said something like they don't like food tastes different in different multiverses. She was like schooling, Doctor Strange on different
on
things. Yeah, just schooling him on it because he don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was something like the Paint Universe. Remember when they went through the Paint Universe? She was just like, I forgot what she said, but she was just like trying to school him.
It's hard to eat food. She said it's hard to eat.
There you go.
When you're made of paint, it's hard to eat food.
When you're made of paint, it's hard to eat food. Like, and is that facts? Candy, is that facts? You're the artist. You're the, you know what I'm saying? That's facts. No,
your food just gonna your food always has a little paint on it. That's all.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I dug that part about her, but I just wish they would have made her a little stronger. And I mean, I know they dumbed her down and her age down, maybe for the sake of to get the kid viewers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think in this movie, she's roughly about maybe 15 or 16 years old, as opposed to being like 18, 19 years old in the comic books. If anybody can confirm it, is she like 18, 19, maybe 20 years old? Like she's roughly around that area. You know what I'm saying? But I think they could have did a little bit more with her. But overall, my only gripe was just like, it took her the whole movie, just, at the end, all it took was like this white guy to say, yeah, get it together. Like, and then she's like, well,
okay. Right. I would like to see it I would like to see it honed in more, right? Versus I can't do shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Cause she kept repeating, I don't know how to do it. I don't know. It just happens.
Right.
All of a fucking sudden, she just figured it out. It was like, all right, I got it now. No.
Yeah,
I want to see some tuning in of a skill set, right?
Right, kind of like how they did Wanda at the end, when all of a sudden she realized that she saw the error of her ways and she was wrong for what she was doing. It's kind of like the movie might have been rushed.
Oh, we know it was rushed. Yeah, we know. We know that, we know that there was a whole chunk taken out. I want to know why.
Look, I said it before.
Usually a good back end reason for like stuff happening. You know what I'm saying? Like anything creative. What I've learned is there's generally
and China, which
That's
also
China and COVID
and COVID,
which COVID started. Yeah, it started in China. Yeah,
right. It's all look. It's all connected. Stay woke.
It's all connected.
All right, before we get to that weird side of YouTube,
right? That's where we at. We're gonna get to the dark tubes, the dark YouTube.
But yeah,
it's all connected.
But yeah, like I'm a talk on it a little bit. It's gonna be brief, but yeah, no, I mean, I'll say this. Like I liked her in the comics, and I just hated the way they used her as a plot device. And I agree, like we all seem to have the same idea of, okay, why would you have a character like this who literally goes through an entire thing of basically
so powerful.
No, she schooled him and told him about these different errors. So you mean to tell me you had to get scared every freaking time to jump around and experience all of these? Yet somehow this power that you know of, like, is completely useless except in certain situations. And it's just like, no, you literally brought a character in this movie that could be a part of the story, and made them the MacGuffin. Like okay, so what do we do? Well, Wanda wants a far power. Oh, well, okay, well, we can't let her. Well, why does she have lines? Why is she just kind of floating around then, if that's her whole purpose? And I really hated that they pushed her back, because even then, like, they had fun parts in there where you could tell, like, Sam Raimi, like, as a director, knows, hey, look, I want you to be this character, even down to the beginning when she was talking with Doctor Strange, like Defender Strange, in Spanish. And then later on, she's talking to, like, 616 Doctor Strange, and Wong understands her, and she's like, yeah, why doesn't he know Spanish?
Right. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. But yeah, like I said, I do think they could have utilized her a little bit more, just a tad bit, not all the way. I understand she's not like the focal point of the movie, but like if you're gonna use her, her character does play a vital part in traveling back and forth through these multiverses and everything. You might want to kind of key.
Yeah, but right now they want to sell. They trying to get some merchandise out, like that pretty little star that kept opening up all the time. That perfect ass little star. I was like, that's cute. But that, like, they trying to sell merchandise.
And I mean, she could have, there were certain points where she could have, and I hated that she didn't bring it up. Like, somebody mentioned it online. They were like, yeah, why didn't she go, hey, Wanda, I know how you're feeling. I lost both my parents.
Right. What? Like, come on now. Yeah.
Because they can't do everything and not make it 5 hours. But I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful, like all the ways think about all the ways things could go, though. It seems like some people get upset about all the ways they think things could go. I'm entertained and excited and enjoy thinking about all the way that things could go, and I'm not frustrated by the fact that they didn't. I was like, oh, it would have been nicer, it would have been fun if. I think I live in it would have been a fun world, though.
I was gonna say, Candy, I wish I had your mentality, because you seem to have a knack for being able to accept the things you can't change, or just being able to accept things in general. And I'm of the opposite, where I would like to change the things that I cannot accept.
Chris, you gotta give into that fandom, like Serenity, man. You gotta give into it. Sometimes it ain't gonna be the best.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I made myself, and it wasn't hard, but I was like, I was going to go. We talked about this before you happened to come in, Christopher. Like that, I went in wanting to enjoy myself, and as much as I know that there are all these pieces and things, often, always in Marvel movies to connect I was like, I want to enjoy the movie for what it is, and that was my only goal when I sat down in the theater. And
only expectation, right?
Chicken pad thai. I said, I had good food. It was like me at 8 motherfuckers at noon on a Friday. I was good. I was situated. Ain't nobody on both either side of me. It was a good time.
Hey, roll credits. Candy just ended the movie right there.
Okay, that's it.
Well, I didn't understand the assignment.
It's okay. That's all right.
All right. So the last character, and we're gonna get off these characters, but the last character I should state is Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. Look, I already see Candy just look. She's like, with the yawn, because she stated earlier before we even started.
I was about to say some. I was about to use some expletives. That I won't yawn.
It's just okay. But yeah. So Christine. Like I said before, I valued her in the 838 universe more so than the 616. I thought the scene with when Strange was at her wedding. And her coming along and, them having that dialogue or whatever, which I kind of thought Strange was off of that shit, but like he was kind of hinting to her, like, I still want you in a way or whatever. I love you in every. This dude said, I love you in every. Now, look, that was the ultimate flex though. Like to say, like, look, I love you in every universe, nigga. Like I love you in every universe, motherfucker. Like I don't give a fuck what it is. I love you in every universe now. You know what I'm saying? So, I thought that was a dope flex, but at the same time, I was like, well, I thought he was just more so.
They're gonna work it out.
I thought he was more so like just, fixated on just focusing on, him and becoming Sorcerer Supreme and him, his endeavors, you know what I'm saying? But then, then that happened and he had to, go and do his superhero thing. But at the same time, when you fast forward to the 838 universe, Christine is much more, I don't know the word to describe it, man. She's just more like independent, I should say, like more like, got a different writer. Like she got some, she got some, cojones. Or I don't know, man. Like she was like because when there was that battle scene, which I think is one of the dopest scenes. A lot of people, I go back and forth with a lot of people about this scene, but the music, I call it the versus battle. When him and the other Doctor Strange, him and Doctor Strange and the other Doctor Strange were going back and forth with the music notes and everything and all that shit. I call it the versus battle, but it was dope as hell. Like I thought that was fly. I ain't never seen that in no Marvel movie. I was like, this shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? And through that battle, like she helped kind of like. She kind of helped out and came through and, she was active and physical. And I was like, okay, I like this. I like this, Christine. You know what I'm saying? I can see more of this Christine. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think, as far as Christine in the future? Like, do you think she's going to be more so that the 838 version, or she's going to just stay the 616 version? Because like it can go either way with this whole multiverse thing, because let's face it, like the word incursions was used multiple times, a lot. So it definitely shows me. Now, if you read the latest Secret Wars arc, that the incursions mean, Secret Wars, and this is what the buildup is. So when I heard them mentioning the incursions, I heard them, I thought about them, pretty much putting to the, bringing to the forefront the whole Secret Wars saga. You know what I'm saying? So like, what do you see? Because anything goes, pretty much what they're doing is trying to bring everything into one universe, basically. All of these Fox properties and everything else, they're trying to bring it into one universe is what I think the ultimate goal is. So what do you guys think?
we'll see her again. I mean, that's for sure. And like
for sure.
Like I said prior, for our listeners who weren't there for like the hour long, like, you know, just going to town on this, she had a little bit of the Jane Foster like effect, and also a little bit of the Captain Marvel, like what if, or where you have a character and they're introduced and they're literally just the worst written character you could possibly put into like, you know, the story. But then you introduce the character again and there's better writing, they have better motivation. Yeah, and the whole Captain Marvel what if thing. I'll say this. I watched Captain Marvel. I just could not get into Brie Larson's like how she does Captain Marvel. But the what if version of her in that Thor, like the Party Thor episode, had way more character, you know? So I feel like you put people that actually look at the specific character and then go, hey, you know, this character has some actual impact on things. Because, yeah, like she literally is Doctor Strange is like Pepper. She's the one where he was like, hey, I got some feelings for you. You know, we got a history. And then I like that they went, okay, we goofed with the first movie. What do we do with this? Well, she is essentially one of the things that he kind of regrets, like not focusing on, you know, but he became Sorcerer Supreme and went on all these superhero adventures. So how do we fix that? Well, we just deal with him having to accept that he lost the girl that he was in love with. And even in the what if for him, that was his turning point, was the fact that he lost her. You know, so having introduced a Christine, it's just like, oh yeah, you know, we dated. And then like I realized you just weren't focused on our relationship. And I moved on. You know, one that actually could do her own thing. It was an actual fully fleshed out character. So I feel like, yeah, Doctor Strange 2, like Christine, was way better.
Okay. So okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna, Candy, I'm not even gonna ask you. I already know your take on Christine. Chris, what do you think about Christine? So we can end this one off, and then we'll go just to next.
Go back one more time on America. I just want to add, I think that's just a common trope when they introduce a character that is pivotal to, like he said, used as a plot device, like Rogue, for instance, in X-Men. You know, Magneto was looking for her so he could do his little thing and get his youth retained. I think he wanted to retain his youth or something like that by using her powers. I forget what he was trying to do, but I say like that
the
Wizard
of Oz. Like the Wizard of Oz.
She was used. Yeah, she was used.
Right. Yeah. I was just saying that's just a common trope in general, where they'll, you know, this chosen one or this character who has special abilities needs to be protected. So I was just saying that in general. I think that's just a common thing that most movies do, especially sci-fi superhero action type movies. For sure. And then to Jane Foster number 2. I mean, that's about it. Like, I mean, no. Honest. All jokes aside. I know. But they never make the love interest interesting in these movies. No. And if they do, they will have to do something or be a character that sets them apart from everyone else. So, for instance, I forget her name, but Black Panther's, I think, either ex-girlfriend or what was the
Okoye?
No, Okoye was the.
Oh, you're talking about
the other girl.
What's her name? It's with an N, I believe.
Nakia.
Nakia, yeah.
Nakia. I don't remember her name, but I'm saying like she was actually an interesting character. Like you would actually want to see more of her or see how the dynamic between her and Black Panther would change if they introduce Storm, you know, or you will want to see like how Jane Foster is going to, you know, become the wielder of Mjolnir. But as far as Peggy Carter prior to, you know, this what if version of her, or Doctor Strange's love interest is like just certain characters really just aren't that interesting of a character to where I even have a strong opinion. So I just like, it's hard for me to even really have an opinion of her because it's like they're damn near non-existent.
Yeah, they ain't not enough to like, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. And the character you were talking about is Nakia. It was played by Lupita Nyong'o, and right. I definitely get.
Yeah, Pepper, like all of them. Pepper Potts, like who else is this? Pepper Potts. There's Peggy. There's Doctor Strange girls. Like we could go on forever.
Yeah.
Like majority of them aren't written to be to have a level of emotional investment tied to them. Mm-hmm. But you know, there's only a few of them have been written to the point where it's like, oh, I actually want to see what happens to this character, or like no one cared that whatchamacallit, what's her name from the Star Wars movies, Jane Foster. No one cared that she wasn't in Thor 3.
Right.
Padme. No one cared that Padme wasn't in Thor 3.
I think that I think it's more so because, you know, I don't know if it's like the folks over at Disney as a whole or whatever. They're just there to play that initial supporting role, and exactly. I think for us as comic book readers, like we get more submersed in their stories though, because they have a lot. It's much more to dive into. You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, you know, there's a lot of X's in like the comic books. There's a lot of X's. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's just like I don't know. I mean, it could be like the timing, or it could be you could chalk it up to like, you know, this is not a important enough story to tell to where, you know what I'm saying, we got to get to the main, you know what I'm saying, meat and potatoes of whatever we're trying to convey here. But no, I definitely get what you're saying. Like, you know, those definitely do play a part. And, you know, with Christine, it's just like, that's why I like the 838 version of her instead. You know what I'm saying? When we saw Black Panther, Nakia, she was about it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like she was about it. Nakia was like all in. Nigga, like, yeah.
And one of the things that Chadwick said, and Chadwick said that on the Breakfast Club, he was like, you know, if they was to introduce Storm, then Nakia will probably become a villain, which would be a dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be a dope story.
Because we all know Storm is bad at it. Like if Nakia was bad at it, like Storm bad it.
And like, Storm becomes his love interest in the comics. Like it's a
right,
you know,
exactly.
It's something that I would have loved to see. Like I know we're not talking about Black Panther, but God, that's why.
No.
His death.
Right, that's what's happening over here at my face. You see my face, Chris? Because I'm upset about it. Because I'm thinking about what I can't have now.
Okay, right. Well, Candy, right. I'm glad. Candy, I'm glad we can agree on something, and there's something that we have in common that we both cannot accept.
Shit. Yeah, that's the fuck ass shit. Oh, no, I can accept it. Right. Like, you just have feelings. I don't have a choice. Like, I don't have a choice but to accept it, right?
No, I guess. I don't know.
and understand that depending on how the tides, people's emotions, the money and whatever shifts, they might decide to pull a motherfucking Black Panther out the damn multiverse from some other shit and be like, hey, we needed more time. So we said we won't go do it. And now we're here.
I would have preferred for a recast, honestly. I would have wished.
I'm totally team recast. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's a whole look, listen.
My bad. Look, I ain't mean to do that.
No. I ain't help either. You know, it won't just
look, Candy knows, you know, Chris. Look, if you listen to our podcast, like, you know, like we be going down these rabbit holes because it's like, it's just crazy, but how some of this shit is playing out. But like, you know, I already established this as like the hip hop Marvel's Illuminati, you know, us four, you know what I'm saying? So, That you know, anybody else coming? You know what I'm saying? Look, anybody else coming up?
I don't want to be the MCU Illuminati.
No, hell no. And look, and that's the segue into our next subject, you know what I'm saying? On the docket here. You know what I'm saying? We talked about all the characters, you know what I'm saying? We talked about all the characters. All right, we're gonna talk about this Marvel Illuminati. We can't lead this. You know, and I know we're over time. We done started hell. Before you came on, Chris, bro, look, Candy can attest. Look, before you came on, Chris, we were already talking like an hour. Like I got like 2 podcasts like from this shit. You know what I'm saying? So but
I got a few more minutes before I go get my popcorn.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I at least want to jump in.
Right. So we're gonna talk about this Marvel Illuminati, and then we're gonna talk about where you think that the MCU is headed, and then we can just end it on out of here. But the Marvel Illuminati. So okay, so when this is, I think this is everybody's turning point in the film. Because although I was psyched to see Krasinski, I was psyched. Don't get me wrong, I was shocked. I was shocked and psyched. You know what I'm saying? Because this is like the fan casting of fan castings here. Like, oh shit, this shit came to fruition like before my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I saw him. Professor X, we kind of knew he was going to be in the film based off of the trailer, which I still say the trailer was the movie in itself. Like, if you see the trailer, you've seen the fucking movie. Like,
you know what? And actually, you know what? Kevin Feige is right, because they never had a trailer with Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield in it. So he's right for that.
Yeah, he's mad as fuck. We talked about this, like, if you listen to the last episode, like, we talked about this. Kevin Feige is pissed. And the reason why is because a lot of this power is being shifted. There was maybe 2 years, 3 years tops, if I'm mistaken. But 2 years, I think 2 years ago, I said on my very same podcast that, it might have been 3 years, but I said on my same podcast, I said, Kevin Feige is like God status over at Marvel right now. I was bigging him up because they appointed him head of the comic books division as well as the film division. So I was like, oh shit. I said, oh shit, this nigga right here, like, shit, he got reins over the movies and the comics. Oh, we in good hands. But lately, it's been seeming to me that somebody's calling the shots. He's sneaking in there and calling some shots here and there.
Oh yeah, and he has it's a mouse and he has big ears. That's who's calling the shots.
Right, exactly. It's a mouse and he got big ears. Exactly. And because if it was my guess, Feige wouldn't have approved this trailer that went out.
No.
Like, we wouldn't even know. Like, if it was up to Feige, we wouldn't even have known Professor X was in the fucking movie, period. We wouldn't have known he was in the movie. We wouldn't have known, hell, the only shit, because if you think about it, I go back to even Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron is the only other movie I could think of that had the same fucking problem. The problem because Age of Ultron was directed by not the Russo brothers, but Josh Whedon. Right, correct. So that was the only other movie that kind of had like some, like, you could tell shit was pulled from it and it was switching scenes and we was like, wait, what? Like, everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, that was the only other movie that was like kind of confusing to us. Mm-hmm. And then you fast forward, this is in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the same way. You know what I'm saying?
And Patrick Stewart showing up is what also probably led people to thinking, oh, well, we're going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again.
Exactly. So from that point on,
it actually did people like me a disservice.
Yeah, exactly. Because from that point on, you've seen a lot of fucking. From that point on, the expectations.
Exactly. Once they showed Doc Ock in that trailer and showed Green Goblin's bomb, it was like, oh, that was their way of confirming that the other two Spider-Man were going to show up. But what I liked about it is that they didn't show it in hindsight.
Didn't show it. So we still had that doubt because we know, look,
because there was no confirmation. It was still speculation.
Exactly. Because judging from old Marvel movies, you know how Marvel do. Like when we think we have a theory or we think we have when we think we got something dead set, like we like, fuck yeah, this motherfucker's in the movie or whatever. Like it could be totally false. And like Marvel has a knack for like neither confirming or denying. You know what I'm saying? Shit. So when this trailer went out, I'm like, oh, so they just gonna straight up show the fucking yellow shit, the X-Men cartoon shit with with the yeah. I'm saying I said so they just gonna straight up show Professor X, you know what I'm saying, and in the Illuminati, you know what I'm saying, which. Me reading the comic books, I said, well, if they're going to go by the comic books, I was like, Black Bolt has to show up. Like the whole Black Bolt shit, I kind of was already on because, given that they had, and even down to the actor.
They had the Inhuman series.
Yeah, even down to the actors. I said, this is the multiverse. You cannot use them. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. He was already in the MCU, so that's not even... Like the characters, the characters they showed up, besides Professor X and besides Mr. Fantastic, were already within the MCU. So like that wasn't a big surprise.
It really wasn't like a big surprise.
This term cameo is being tossed around, a little too frivolously. Like first of all, what Stan Lee was doing, those are cameos. Those four, those Illuminati members, those were actual scenes. Like these people had camera time for more than 2 minutes. Like a cameo.
Yeah, that's not a cameo.
Yeah. That ain't a cameo. So what they as far as I'm concerned, the only person that had a cameo was Clea.
Right. Well, I will say this though. All right, so I guess. All right, I'm gonna ask you this, Chris. So I guess because one of my gripes is the short time that the Illuminati was on screen to where to the untimely demise of the Illuminati.
We can handle Wanda. We're more worried about you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when he said that, I'm like, oh shit. And then when they found out that she had infiltrated where they were at, I'm like, oh shit, this shit about to be a piece of cake then, nigga. And then they just previously showed me the flashback scene of them killing Strange after you see a Thanos laid over a fucking top of a whatever it was that he was fucking defeated too. So I'm like, all right, well, shit, this shit about to be lit. You know what I mean? And then Wanda comes in here and just kills him like that.
Oh,
so you mean to tell me they could beat Thanos? You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me they could beat Thanos with like partial gauntlet, but can't beat Wanda? Like,
all right,
not even Wanda. Not even Wanda. This is a fucking avatar of Wanda. Really?
I'm a spaz at this.
Let's be honest here, right?
I'm a come out the corner tight like Mike Tyson on this one because I gotta hit the road. But this is the definitive moment where I can just speak on this. Everything about that was so wrong to the point, even down to okay, all right, even down to the fact that.
I'm glad you agree, Quinn.
Oh, no, this was the part of this like movie that I was like, all right, cool. They're introducing the Illuminati. Everybody, even if you stopped reading like not even that long ago, but you were around for the Illuminati, you knew who the core members were. You knew that group in itself had power. And you introduced them in this movie. You introduced them on that level of it being, okay, cool. They're going to go up against Wanda. And like we mentioned, the whole fact that in their universe, they stopped Thanos. They stopped Thanos well before he could even get his plan across. Impaled that man with his own blade. Like they put in the work. They even policed their own. When their Strange was getting corrupted, they were just like, well, what do we do? You're going to become a problem for us. So hey, look, nothing personal. We got to handle you. They handled him. But in this situation where they have a new Sorcerer Supreme, you know, their guy who is full on board with them, you know, who should have been able to predict what was going to happen, you know, and the fact that they sat there and scoffed at the idea of, okay, maybe this out of our universe power is coming here. We know who it is. We know there's a version of her who hasn't acted out like this. Why aren't we taking this more serious than we should? You know, and then on top of that, to have the minds that they had attached to these characters that we know who are full out strategists, who are full out, like Professor Xavier has been the mind for the X-Men movies. Like he's been the heart of how it is that they, you know, realize, all right, we're doing this for a reason. You introduce him just to basically be like, oh, I read minds, nigga. You know, like, that's all I do. And then, then you bring in Black Bolt, the leader of the Inhumans, who basically, like, they hyped him up. They even showed and demonstrated for people who may not have watched the show or known how powerful he is. They get him literally, you know, ready to go. I mean, the suit looked good. Your boy, Anson Mount, like who played him, I was on board. You know, they had Captain Britain, you know, and it's like, all right, cool. To pull him from the What If, you know, they had finally our Captain Marvel. They had Reed Richards, like you said, perfect fan cast. They gave it to us, but it was all at face value. Because as soon as that happened, as soon as Reed came up to her,
it was like, done. Hey, it was done.
Blue spaghetti.
Just watching all of that get pulled away and it being revealed that, you know, and I call the studio on this because I trust Sam Raimi, and he's even said in the past about some of the projects he worked on that, like, the effort he puts into it, studios still have a say so on what happens. And he was like, He was I didn't want to put. Oh, he was just like, no. Oh, go ahead.
No. I mean to cut you off, Quinn. Go ahead.
But yeah, he was like, even with Spider-Man 3, he didn't want to put Venom in there. He had a story, but that movie became so jam-packed from studio interference. Fans like Venom. You know,
that's going to sell. Yeah, and that's why Spider-Man 3 is like the lackluster. Like they're like,
you know what's crazy though? Just to chime in right quick on Spider-Man 3, that movie aged well because of the internet. The internet has kept that movie alive from a
for sure. I mean,
from a comedic meme standpoint.
Yeah. For sure. It's like one of those movies. Yeah. It's like Troll 2. Like you watch Troll 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? And look, Chris, you know what I'm fucking talking about too, nigga. Like it's like Troll 2. Like there was a documentary on Troll, nigga. Like the worst fucking movie ever made. There was a documentary. Like, you know what I mean? But it's a cult following. And I love backwards. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I love the movie Troll because it's so bad. It's so bad. I like it.
Yeah, it was criticized at the time, but like because the internet kept it alive and because of No Way Home, that movie was able to be redeemed despite how much criticism it was getting at that time. Unlike Blade 3 or X3, right. you know those right. At the time. Those are like the main trilogies that, you know, everyone hated the last movie from all of those franchises. But, you know, even though X-Men later did First Class, but as far as at the time in 2006, we thought that was going to be the last X-Men movie. So we thought that was a horrible way to end that. Everyone was upset about the way they ended Blade and everyone hated Spider-Man 3. So from what they did with No Way Home and how the internet has kept Spider-Man in the conversation because of the memes and Bully Maguire and all those things, that movie was at least able to get some type of redemption versus, you know, the other Marvel projects that we don't even that we thought we were gonna see in Multiverse of Madness, but I guess everyone doesn't get to everyone doesn't get closure or redemption.
Yeah,
right,
and
exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, you go into it with that whole like idea that all right, something cool is gonna come from like, something that didn't succeed. I watched all of Inhumans, and I will say, looking at the behind the scenes stuff, the amount of work that the dude, like the actor who played Black Bolt, did. He actually learned to create his own sign language that Black Bolt used in order to communicate. He did not speak a word of dialogue in that show, with the exception of it being, to do the character's voice, like when he did speak and use his power. So seeing that in there, going, oh man, they finally got it right. And then watching the entirety of that, like this.
Although I would have liked to see Medusa step up to the plate too, because and that scene, because like we all know Medusa speaks for this nigga, like that's his wife, but like she speaks for this nigga, like you don't get to him, you gotta go to goddamn me, you know what I'm saying, like
man, they could have still used his power and showcased how strong Wanda is. Like,
for sure.
He could have been the last person standing and yelled, and she could have took the brunt of it. Like, there's a picture of Thanos taking the brunt.
Yeah, in the comic books.
He's walking. And he takes Black Bolt by the head and slams him down. Yeah,
exactly.
Like Wanda,
I know what you're talking about,
bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This movie. The problem with this movie isn't the runtime; it's the execution. All right, they could have executed those things a whole hell of a lot different, and that's my issue with them, because had old girl not said anything about Black Bolt, Wanda would have never shut his mouth. He would have just spoke right away. Like, it's like, oh, well, he has his power involves his mouth. Oh, well, let me get rid of that. Like, she over here pulled a Mr. Anders, Miss Smith from the Matrix. Like
word.
and that's the thing. Like they really made they turned him into like fodder for her. Like, even down to basically just, we knew she was a villain. You had so many other ways to go about it, but the way they threw that entire setup for the fight was essentially just having her. And I will say that was cold. The whole interesting. Where he was like, "Hey, look, Wanda, I know what it's like. I have kids. And her to just basically be like, yeah. So they have a mother, right? He's like, yeah. Well, then that means she'll raise him then. And then for him to basically be taken out that easy. And then for her to move on through each one of these other powerful characters and to treat them like they're nothing. Captain Marvel of all the ones. So you mean to tell me Carol Danvers can survive punching through a ship, all this other stuff, but a statue falls on this version and she's
right. I'm not even gonna get into it. Like, look, the Illuminati, man, that was one of my like the scratching head moments. Like, of the movie, like I was just like scratching my head, like what the fuck what am I looking at? Like, you know what I mean? But to wrap everything up, I know, we've been going on for a minute. To wrap everything up,
I ain't gonna sleep now because of this. We don't brought this up now.
right. So here at Hip Hop Marvels, we have a Infinity Stones rating. So, it's like how many stones out of 6? But there are 6 Infinity Stones. 6 being the highest. How many Infinity Stones do you give this movie? I'll start with you, Chris.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to do it like that.
It's pretty much a rate.
Yeah, I get what it is. I don't know. Like, before, I've been giving this movie a B-. I don't know what a B- version of an Infinity Stone rating would be. I think that might be a 3.
You're right. I'm not talking about, because some people, they get it, misconstrued as like what particular like stone it is and shit like that. I'm just talking about 3. I'm just talking about if you had the gauntlet. If you had the gauntlet,
nigga, I got 3 stones.
You got 3 stones. Okay, cool. Quinn, what do you give it?
All right, so I'm gonna give it between like so I'm gonna give it a 3, like a 3 as well, because I mean I enjoyed it, but you know it at this point it's literally like going, hey, you know, I guess
I'm
we'll
looking
never
at
get
Candy. Look, I'm looking at Candy. She should have came back with her popcorn. She came back with her popcorn. I love it.
See, that's why
Candy.
See, that's why
we
right there.
Hell yeah, for real. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So we're wrapping everything up, and you know what I'm saying? We're rating the movie based on Infinity Stones. You know, there's 6 Infinity Stones. 6 being the highest. How many stones do you rate this movie? Like, if you had the gauntlet, how many stones would you put in that motherfucker to give this movie a rating? Chris said, what you said, 3?
Yeah,
Quinn said 3. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say a strong 4. Yep. What do you say, Candace?
I got 4 on it. Mm-hmm.
She got 4 on it. All right. She got 4 on it. Okay, cool. And the reason why, and I'm gonna just say, you know, before we get out of here, I'm gonna just say the reason why I put 4 on it, because I gave it 4 because, you know, like you, Chris, you know, I heard a lot of the speculation. I heard a lot of the leaks and all this other bullshit. And then it took, shout out Brandis. Well, matter of fact, let me shout out my team real quick. Shout out Brandis, shout out Terry, shout out Rick, you know what I'm saying? But Brandis, you know, she's the main one that, like, she was like you, Chris. She was on it. She saw all the leaks, the fucking, like, everything that came out, everything, you know? And she pretty much was like, look, go into this motherfucker. And it was crazy because out of my whole Squadron Supreme, like, out of all of us, Terry is the one who saw it first. He saw it Thursday afternoon. And he pretty much, like, after he saw it, he told us the same thing. And Brandis told us the same thing. Like, look, go into this motherfucker. Don't have no expectations. Just go into it, watch the movie, and leave out of it, and you should be good. And that's how we left out of it. I mean, to be honest, like, we left out of it. It was a good movie. I like it. It you know what I'm saying? It was a great movie. It was good. You know, it didn't hell shit. It was better than a lot. And I hate to do this, but it was better than a lot of DC shit. Right, Candace? Like, let's be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, like,
that's not that. DC.
Aquaman. Right, I watched Aquaman because he's pretty, but
hold on. DC is the bar. DC is the bar now.
It's gonna be for right now.
For right now, yeah. I was going to say that. For right now, it is. I was going to say that because we don't know where the fuck we're going. And on top of that, like, look, shit has been a lot different in this phase, man.
Out of every Marvel movie I have ever watched, from Blade to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I dislike this one the most. You know what? I'll even go as far as to say this.
Hold on.
I dislike.
From Philly though, so I could really be wrong. Chris, are you from Philly? Because I hear.
No, I'm from. I'm from Virginia, where ain't shit to do but cook. But seriously though. That's an old clip song. But no. 804 Virginia. I live in a county that's close to Richmond. But I just want to say right quick, I dislike this movie more than Wolverine Origins, and everyone hates that movie. People act like that movie doesn't even. People act like that movie doesn't even exist. Y'all want a hot take? There's a hot take for you.
No. That aside. Okay, I'm talking.
I said what I said because I like the movie and I have fun. my time in the theater at lunchtime. I clapped my hands a few times and I winced a few times. And like, yeah, I'm gonna go 4. I'm all right. I didn't leave super upset or super disappointed. I ain't like the post-credit scenes. I would have liked more there.
And the Illuminati scenes could have been better, right?
Yeah, but like the constant idea of the seeking of perfection and refining destroys enjoyment in every part of life. And I am not a fan of doing it in movies, in my friendships, in the shit I make for my job. I'm not a fan of it. And as a creative person, I think about the fact that we don't always understand. All we understand is oftentimes is the consumer component. We are looking at a thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, that beat, why did he use that? We don't understand what happens all the way around it, or like the creative process. And I'm just like, I will allow myself to enjoy some shit instead of pick things, people, situations apart to the point where like I devalue a thing. It just wasn't that bad to me. I have fun that day.
I can totally agree, because as a creative person such as myself, I could have made a better Doctor Strange movie.
Well, why aren't you doing it?
We gonna get on it. We gonna get it.
An asshole, but anytime somebody's like, make another hoe, nigga, make another hoe. Just go do it.
No.
She said make another hoe. Like, we ain't making another hoe.
Yeah, we gonna make a better hoe. We gonna make a better hoe.
But until then, like, when we do things like say, I could have done it better, but you're not, and that's no offense to you, but because you're not, there are always parts and understandings and intricacies, like how we talk about, like, I don't like Basquiat's paintings, not because they look like kindergarten paintings.
Hey, look, wait, that's a whole nother.
I don't like them. Right, I don't like them.
If you heard Joe Budden's last podcast or the podcast?
I don't like them. Yeah, I don't like them.
They said the same shit.
But
they said, I don't know why his last painting just sold for like 15 million or whatever.
But, right.
Look like kindergarten.
But or Jackson Pollock. However,
right.
Okay, Jackson Pollock is garbage.
Doing that thing is like the process, executing the thing, right? So like, I'm not.
I mean, all I can draw stick figures, so I have no opinions in regards to the paintings. So I don't have a dog in that. Right. I don't have a dog in that fight. But you give me access to resources and money, and you give me access to capital, I will give you the Doctor Strange 2 movie that we've all wanted and we all needed. Mm-hmm. You give me that machine. You give me that mouse.
Look.
But see,
that's what it's all about.
That's what comes with it, though, right? Like, you can have the creative talent, the skill set, like the writing ability, create the art. And if there are other hands in the clay, sometimes shit gets picked apart.
Yeah, true. Well, hey, y'all, I'm a dip out before we get to some very unpopular.
No. We almost out of here.
I'm gonna put my shit back on mute and keep eating my popcorn.
Well, hey, real quick, Quinn, before you get out, let everybody know, what I'm saying, where they can find you, what you got going on, all that good shit.
Well, I mean, if anything, I am, like I mentioned earlier, I am still a part of the Villains and Vinyl podcast, but be on the lookout for the Quin Nominal podcast, in which I will be, getting up and running soon. So for the time being, if y'all enjoy listening to me talk about stuff, hey, I'm gonna be out there. Appreciate it as always. Like, thank you so much for having me on.
Quinn, you family. You family, man. Hey, and you welcome anytime, bro. You already know that.
Hey, and like I said, if we ain't getting it going on villains, best believe you can come to Neutral Round and you can talk about your love of DC. No judgment. No judgment.
Hey, and they always say that too. I never get around.
Oh no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Hey, I love DC. I'm Team DC actually. Ever since I grew up on the cartoons, so the DC animated universe with Dwayne McDuffie and Bruce Timm, and the DC animated movie universe where Trigon was beating up Darkseid. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, DC got good animated shit.
DC is the ghost in animated shit.
Stuff,
so,
like I said, Aquaman was pretty, but it felt like I was watching a Power Rangers movie sometimes.
Hey, facts. You know what I'm saying?
The live action movies aren't as good, but as far as the animated stuff, and Man of Steel was pretty dope too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Facts. All right, Quin, man. I appreciate it, bro. We about to be out of here anyway, but yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you coming through. You know what I'm saying?
All right, it was good. It was good chopping up with y'all, and hopefully we get some resolve on some of the Doctor Strange. I'm looking forward to the Blerd Illuminati edition that's gonna come out. We gonna.
Hey, and we got so much shit coming up. Shit, we got damn Miss Marvel. We seen the trailer for She-Hulk. We got Thor up next, so it's coming. It's coming.
All right, I'll be back. All right, see you.
All right, appreciate it. But Chris, man, I appreciate you falling through. You know what I'm saying? As always, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to explain to them earlier, your contributions to the culture as far as the whole meme thing, with your Instagram and, you find the memes and making memes. You're doing the Marvel Voices #1 with Charlamagne the God. You working with him. I don't think I explained the whole Kevin Graveau thing to them. But yeah, you got some.
Thanks for the introduction. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And you're always welcome here. You know what I'm saying? Shit, since we connected, you already know we connected, bro. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you coming through to help facilitate this extravaganza here. We were set to have more people, but guess what? You know what? You know what I mean? This is us. This is
quality,
you know what I'm saying?
Quality over quantity.
You're right about that. And it's crazy because I set out to form a hip hop Marvel's Illuminati and whatnot. And you know what? I think I got it, man. I think I got it. You know what I'm saying? I think I got it. You know what I'm saying? So
hopefully Wanda doesn't kill them off either.
Oh shit. Well, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Can't let Wanda do that. You know what I mean? Can't let Wanda do that.
Y'all gonna have to figure something out. Y'all gonna have to bank her or something.
But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Candy, once again, man, you are a trooper. And yes, she's like, yes.
Nice meeting you. I just want to say nice meeting you, Candy.
As well, Chris. I appreciate people who have sometimes having strong opinions that are different than others is people aren't comfortable. So I appreciate when people have opinions and are comfortable sharing them shits.
Right,
yes,
right. And more importantly, that the opinions get respected, because sometimes people don't respect you or what you have to say once they disagree with you.
Right, and that I know for sure. My podcast and my space, that it's crazy because sometimes we have DC fans on our podcast and our episodes and everything, and we respect it. I mean, I like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up as a comic book fan first and foremost. Yes, I cater towards Marvel most, but you know what I'm saying? I have I'm a Blerd. In the sense, you know what I'm saying, a full Blerd.
Y'all coming to BlerdCon? Hey, y'all coming to BlerdCon?
You going?
Well, I'm gonna just say this in closing. No, I'm not gonna be able to make it to BlerdCon this year. My phone's on 8%, so I didn't want to just cut out. But I'm not gonna be able to make it. But You can definitely find me at Critics of Culture on Instagram, though. If you don't find me at any con, you can find me there.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Right,
okay.
Yes, indeed. All right, Chris. Candy, I appreciate you, for doing this once again.
I asked the BlerdCon thing because I'm having an art exhibit, a solo art exhibit open in DC that same weekend. So
wow,
I get to I'm gonna double dip.
That shit is dope. I'll be in California. I'll be in California then, but that shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? We gotta curate, like, if we gotta get the fucking local Marvel Illuminati like close, like we gotta curate some shit, man. Like I think we come up with some shit for real. Like
not complicated.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not at all. We can come up with some shit. Like we we put our brains together, form some type of brain trust, man. We can come up with some shit. Like for real. On some real shit. All right. I'll holler at you.
All right, cool.